The kidnapping and assassination of Miguel Ángel Blanco stirs up an unprecedented mobilization of the whole of Spanish society against ETA. Between this crime committed in July 1997 and the truce declaration announced by the terrorist group in September 98, ETA assassinates 9 people. 5 of them are Popular Party town councillors. During this time, and despite the bloody strategy deployed by ETA, the government of José María Aznar begins to make eyes at the terrorists. This is done by the Prime Minister and several of his cabinet ministers between one murder and the next. November 1997. Only 4 months have gone by since the murder of Miguel Ángel Blanco. 4 months during which ETA has also assassinated 2 members of the state security forces. In the midst of the first rumors of a truce, the government spokesperson makes a surprising comment. Solving the problem of terrorism does not imply the victory of the rule of law and the defeat of the terrorists.
There must not be either winners or losers.
During the following 3 months, ETA assassinates 3 Popular Party town councillors and the wife of one of them. However, only 1 month after the terrorists take the life of the Popular Party town councillor Alberto Jiménez Becerril and his wife in Seville, José María Aznar makes a striking declaration to El Mundo newspaper, stating what his attitude will be if ETA declares a truce.
I am willing to be generous if necessary, to be understanding, if this can contribute to put an end to terrorism. That is what everybody must understand. This is not a simple road.
Aznar is also very explicit when asked what that generosity towards the terrorists would entail.
I am convinced that in a conclusion reached through dialogue, if they lay down their arms definitively, Spanish society and the state will show generosity and will adopt measures that will enable us to look into the future and try to overcome such painful issues of the past.
In spite of the Prime Minister's gesture, ETA carries on with its attacks and extorting money from business owners from the Basque Country and Navarra. Meanwhile, Aznar does not hesitate to direct new conciliating gestures at ETA, this time in an interview for ABC newspaper.
Making an effort in terms of generosity would be worth it if it meant attaining peace.
3 days after Aznar offers generosity to the terrorist group, ETA responds by assassinating a town councillor in Pamplona. 48 hours later, they take the life of a retired sub-lieutenant from the Guardia Civil Corps. On June the 25th, a bomb planted in a motorcycle kills a Popular Party town councillor in Renteria, Manuel Samareño. These crimes take place in the midst of a process of talks between the Abertzale left and Basque nationalist parties. This process culminates in the Estella Pact, signed on September the 12th of that year by 8 nationalist parties, including Herri Batasuna and 16 Basque nationalist social and trade union organizations. This agreement materializes ETA's political intentions, as it presents a nationalist bloc which defends advances with regard to self-determination and marginalizes non-nationalists, keeping them apart from the institutions.
Escaleria, 12 September 1998.
1 week after this agreement is signed, and less than 3 months after its last murder, ETA finally declares an indefinite truce. The government says that it is being cautious about ETA's announcement. However, it quickly makes a relevant move. It authorizes the transfer of 4 ETA prisoners to Basque prisons and grants another prisoner open regime privileges. Only a couple of days have gone by since the beginning of the truce, and Aznar promises more favors for ETA prisoners.
I will carry on adopting the initiatives that I deem most appropriate to attain definitive peace. I want to tell you that the government will incorporate a new orientation in penitentiary policy agreed by consensus, flexible and dynamic, to accompany the advances achieved in ensuring peace.
Aznar acts with haste and makes numerous concessions. As well as transferring prisoners to prisons closer to their hometowns, he states that during negotiation he will not demand that ETA ask forgiveness for the crimes it has committed. This statement appears in an interview in El País newspaper on October 11, 1998.
I am not asking them to assume all the electoral disturbances which have taken place in these last 20 years, not even to explicitly condemn their own crimes. But what I am asking is for them to accept democratic rules the moment they announce the cease of violence.
On November the 4th, 1998, 1 month and a half after the truce announcement, and only 4 months after ETA committed its last assassination, Aznar makes another appearance in front of the journalists. He announces the beginning of talks with ETA, which he no longer defines as a terrorist group, but according to the terminology that has traditionally been used by the Abertzale left. For Aznar, ETA is not a terrorist group anymore, but has become the Basque Liberation Movement.
I have personally wanted the Spanish citizens to know and be very clear about the fact that the government and I myself have authorized contacts with the environment of the Basque Liberation Movement. I have authorized this personally, and I want the Spanish people to know.
During the over 400 days of the truce, the government launches a strategy aimed at attaining definitive peace. To this effect, it does not hesitate to meet with ETA and Herri Batasuna, transfer over 120 ETA prisoners to prisons in the Basque Country, release several dozen terrorists, and allow for 300 members of the terrorist group who lived abroad to return to Spain. All of this within the framework of a philosophy described by Aznar himself.
For peace and its rights, we will not close up. On the contrary, we will open up to hope, forgiveness, and generosity. It is for peace that we will do all our best to make it definitive and with the help and hope of each and every one.
The words forgiveness and generosity are repeated time and time again by members of the Popular Party government. The whole opposition, led by the Socialist Party, supports the government unwaveringly in its attempt to attain peace. This unanimous support is materialized, amongst other things, in the 2 motions approved by Parliament in favor of a new orientation of the penitentiary policy aimed at promoting the end of violence. These motions resulted in dozens of ETA prisoners being released from prison and over 120 prisoners being transferred to prisons near the Basque Country.
There isn't a single prisoner connected to ETA left outside the peninsula. All the prisoners who were on the islands have been transferred to the peninsula. All of them.
This is how Mariano Rajoy, Minister of Public Administrations, justified the transfer of prisoners.
The government has made a gesture. The government has the will and wish for peace, and it has made a gesture, saying that talks with ETA are authorized and may be held.